Okay, back with another 10NL session on GG. I did play a couple of tournaments earlier this evening, one on GG, one on PokerStars. I think they probably lasted a combined 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe. Got a got it in with a couple of flips and didn't win. But anyway, here we go. Here's the cash session. This is where the action really happens in the cash games. I got some. Oh, what was that? It's like some sweet wrapper on my jack there on the right. Is that their Halloween-based point system or something to do with candles? Halloween party, trick or treat. I'll have to read about that. My jack looked like I thought it was a sweet wrapper, but it might have actually been like a little pumpkin. Anyway, played a little bit of 10NL, I think, during the week, but not too much. Mostly spin and goes again. I played a full ring session of 10NL on PokerStars earlier. I think I made 50 cents for my hour's work. Hey ho. King Jack off is one of the weakest hands I think I'll open under the gun. One thing I noticed on GG is that the amount of people playing is way bigger than on Stars. Like you look at the number of people that are online, uh, it's like 300,000. And the pools are a lot larger. I think there's about 750 people in the 10NL pool right now. So that's significantly more than Stars. I hadn't realised that it was just that much bigger. The six is here. I wonder whether this is a three bet. We will go for it on this occasion. I don't usually three bet these hands too much, but we'll throw it in sometimes. Cool here with this. I do think once we have three bet, we're going to continuation bet this board. We want to do this more with this than we do with like seven, eights, and nines because we want him to have seven, eights, or nines. He checks back here. I think here we'll go for a large bet with the jack of diamonds. Maybe this isn't necessary. We do river d8. Do we want to bet or do we want to check? He has a queen jack, king queen that may well call. I think we'll go for this. We'll go for half pot. This might be a little bit thin. Got a bit right. I think we got a bit lost in this hand. What's he really going to have here? When he raises, he's telling me he has a flush, but he didn't bet the flop. Again, I haven't seen too many people bluff it. He didn't have much in the way of a time bank. I'm just going to have to fold. He's got kind of a low. Yeah, got a bit lost in that hand, I think. So probably should have just check called the turn, or just check the river and maybe try to pick off a bluff. So yeah, I didn't realize you had such a short time bank. That was barely more than 10 seconds of a time bank there. But what hand can he really have? But I'm so used at this point when calling rivers, just seeing people having it, there just aren't that many bluffs. So in those spots, you call thinking people are going to have X bluff or Y bluff, but they generally don't. So maybe it's fine. Maybe I was just trying to get value from king, queen, queen, jack. Maybe it wasn't that bad, and he had ace queen or he had a flush. Okay, raise it up with the tens, get called in two spots. Do we want to see bet into two players, or do we want to just check this? I don't see how C bet for a third can be that bad. Immediately get called. Can get called by worse. Another one of these jacks. So obviously it cuts down the number of jacks you can have. We're going to check though. I don't see any real reason to keep betting. Quite a large bet. Is he going to go this big with a? He could do this for hand like ace eight or eight nine or pocket nine. I don't think we can fold to this. Obviously that's a really shitty river. And now we're just checking and really just hoping checks back pocket nines. That's about all we can hope for. Pocket fives, so he did have that kind of hand. Nice. And there, yeah, he's got like 5 high at that point. So maybe I'm slightly surprised he didn't choose to bluff that. Pocket threes. I'll go for a flat on the button. Go for a fold. So I've got 3 of these little sweet wrappers in this Halloween thing. I'm gonna have to find out what that means, if anything. Whether it's some little gimmick, which means that they give you virtually nothing, but it makes you feel like you're getting a little something. It's a tiddly raise, but 7-5 off. I think that's just too weak. Then we'll just go ahead and fold. Okay, gets called from the small blind. Just going to go with a third on this board. I think if it was 2 of the same suit, we'd go half. Just this would just go third. Quick call, and I think we can go quite large on this turn. We can get called by hands like 9-8, 7-8. There's quite a lot of pair and draw type hands. It's not going to be very nice if we get check raised. Obviously, get called by worse kings as well. Queen Jack off, I think, is it's kind of borderline under the gun. It's probably a fold. I know you can look at pre-flop ranges and stuff, but I think you can deviate from them a bit on the basis that people just aren't three betting as much as perhaps they ought to. All right, so this is kind of interesting flop. We get obviously with 2 overs in the gutter, we're not going to be folding here. Question is whether there's any real merit to raising. I think I'm probably just going to play calls. Question now is he check. He bets, but he bets kind of small. We've got a nut shot. Whether we want to call here and then bluff if he decides to check the river. I think that's what I'm going to do. And also bluff spades. Queen ten of spades, decent size 3 bet. We'll let this one go. I'm not convinced that he'll check a jack. Would he bet the turn 2 pair? I don't know. Would he bet the turn if he had 2 pair? I suppose now we've got here, we're going to have to bluff this, but this might just be a torch. Yeah, it probably was. And nine, so he did call with 2 pair. I don't really think he should be doing. Not sure what he could really beat there other than exactly what I've got, but I can't see anything else that he beats. So I'm kind of surprised to get called by that. Maybe we could have gone larger, but if I had a jack, I wouldn't go that big. So I think half pot would be a fair bet with a jack. But it doesn't work out. Yeah, because if I had a jack there, I wouldn't go massive because it's very hard to get called by much. So you would go half pot. I'm sort of surprised that 2 pair were called because he didn't even have the best 2 pair. Called. And well, not exactly the ball we were hoping for here with our pocket tens. I think we can check it back, try and get it to a showdown. So people are going to be relatively honest, I think. I don't see him leading into 2 players with worse, so we're just going to give it up. Yeah, another sweet wrapper. I'm up to about 3 or 4 now. Must be rich. Maybe the better play when I have the bluff with the king queen is to bet pot or even bigger than that. Just go really massive so that uh, his two pair hands don't want to call. But when you're giving someone 3-1 on a call, maybe lots of them just shrug their shoulders and just call. So perhaps I needed to just go bigger. If it deuces, we will open, treat ourselves to a little raise, get called by a guy playing a broken stack who's got 43 VPIP. In fact, if I'd looked at this, I'd have seen that he's got 43, he's got 30, he's got 55 in the big blind. So maybe this was ill-advised, but it wouldn't have been ill-advised if it was King 10-2. But it isn't. I think we have another fold, sadly. Splash pot, extra dollar in there. All right, what are we going to get? I've been on GG a while. I'm not sure if I've won a splash pot yet. Maybe I'm just really like clues. I tend to just limp all of them. I'm not sure whether that's a great strategy or not. Probably isn't. It's all in. I've seen a lot of people do this. Obviously, the difficulty with a hand like fours is it's very hard to be in great shape with a hand like pocket fours. Would have been a very nice flop, but yeah, I think what would be cool with there? Certainly, I think sevens or better would be a cool. I think fours is just that little bit too weak. It's so hard to be in good shape, and obviously you can be in desperate shape if he's got a bigger pair. And then you suddenly ended up dumping in 100 big blinds with a hand that you otherwise didn't really want to play. Maybe we could have bet here with our seven. This guy's got an 11 VPIP. I'm starting to regret not just leading the flop now. You may well check a jack. No, he's got six deuce. A guy paying 11% VPIP and he's limping six deuce. Okay, fair enough. I think we will just bet this board. It's basically a worthless ace high. We'll go just half pot and give up against any resistance. When I say give up against resistance, we could bet here, but the hands that we can get to fold, like your queen jacks, your queen nines, we already beat those. This guy's got a 15% VPIP and has not yet three bet, so we'll let this go. Interesting river. Queen jack obviously gets there, but we overtake king and a 10. I'm not really looking to see a bet. That's kind of annoying. He does have a 48% VPIP over. It's only 25 hands. We can chop quite a bit here. I don't think we can fold, but I don't love it when he bets pot. Yeah. Yeah, I would expect that to three bet pre, but it doesn't. So we're losing again. When people pot the river, it is usually a hand. I think that that's basically uh, kind of recognized that half pot is often bluffy, as I demonstrated myself earlier, and that full pot is very, very common for it to be a hand. So I was hoping there it was either going to be a bluff, or if it was a hand, maybe it would just be the same hand. Could have had like ace jack or ace and queen maybe that we could chop with. Wonder if you're allowed just to limp in on the button here. The guy limps under the gun and you've got sort of playable hand. I don't really want to ISO with a hand like this. It's not strong enough. Check call. No real clue what this guy is going to be doing this with. Flush gets there and then he donk. I think again, sadly, it's just going to have to be a fold. So Alvita, this session is pretty low. It's only 16, so I've had quite a lot of trash, I suppose, that I've been folding. Pocket fours, guy's only got a very small stack, so I suppose we just will throw this away. Yeah. Could three bet this against the guy who's going to be opening the buttons probably very wide. I do not tend to three bet the small pocket pairs out of position, but when you just call with them, this is of course the issue that you get these kind of boards and it's kind of tough to know what to do. Here's a spot where it's tough to know what to do. 4% three bet over 144 hands. We've got pocket jacks. Think, oh, where the hell did my time bank go? That's annoying. I'm going to go back and look at the hand there because, as you can see there, I was planning on ripping. Maybe I should four bet small. Maybe I could go all in. You could also fold, which is of course what I ended up doing by accident. We'll have a look at that in a second. See if anybody else cool. Yeah, I didn't realize you got such a small time bank on GG. In PokerStars, usually I think you get a 30-second time bank that does dwindle if you use it, but you get a bit longer than you get here. For a min raise, 9-6 of diamonds, will cool. Yeah, well, I'll just give this one up. Threes, not going to get impatient. Session isn't going. I should stop rabbit hunting, shouldn't I? Session isn't going very well, but we're going to try and stay patient. Probably down at least half a buy-in, I would think, at this point. And we'll flatten the button with the fives. Get another three bets. And how often does this guy three bet? Quite high three bet stat. Queen 10 off. I don't want to call with it, and do I want to three bet bluff with it? Not particularly. So these jacks, did we actually get to see what anybody had? No, and I think my all in would have worked because the guy who ended up winning the pot was not the guy who put the three bet in, so perhaps he just had ace king and missed. We'll just go for a third on this board when it's rainbow. Get immediately check raised. I suppose here with backdoor clubs and a gut shot we can call. And this guy does look reasonably aggressive. So I think I will peel. Not the card we were hoping to see. Get a large bet and rather sad, but I think we're just going to have to fold. If we picked up a club, we could call obviously a six. Arrived a bit late. No, it's a seven. I needed a six, not a seven. What am I talking about? Right. Need a hand to get the session off to start. It's 20 minutes into the session, so this video we'll probably play for about half an hour or a bit longer. I think with aces, I would check this board a lot, but when I am going to bet it, I'm going to bet big. It's a really shitty board, to be honest, because when the small blind calls, they have all those small pocket pairs, so not that sad to see a fold. Gonna follow through. We go for a three bet bluff here from the big blind. Haven't done this session. Big cards, a littleish card. Probably would rather and immediately just get punished for it from a guy that looks to be playing not particularly aggressive. So I suppose we've just walked into it. And we get three bet again. Certainly a call here with ace queen of clubs. How often is this guy three betting? Just 5%. The three bet percentages are still fairly low, but with ace queen suited, we will be calling. And we will be flopping bugger all. Certainly going to be calling against a bet that small. We've got two overs. We've got a flush draw, backdoor flush draw roll. So definitely not a fold. I think it's a spot where we kind of have to bet. It's going to utterly stink if I get check raised all in, which could easily happen. And if it does, we might have to call off. But for the times that he has a similar hand to me, ace king, ace queen, I just don't. He's just going to hate it. So we're going to pick up the pot against ace king. Would we have got there? We would not. All right, we won a pot. We won a pot. I think that was the right play there. I think when people bet small on the flop and then check the turn, I think a lot of people don't check frequently enough with a big pair, so they often just giving up. Open a 6-5 of diamonds, but then we just have to fold to the three bet. I don't want to four bet bluff with a hand like 6-5. We need one big hand, don't we, for the video? Otherwise, when you do these sort of live play videos rather than anything like with highlight, it can be a bit dry. This guy's got a 69% VPIP over 115 hands. So the guy likes to play. The guy likes to play. We've got, I think we probably do have a call. I know it's 4x, but I think a guy playing this frequently, maybe he's a bit splashy, could be prone to paying people off. Who knows, but we'll call. The flop very badly. With a hand this bad, do we just assume that he has a ton of ace high and then maybe we'll just bet here just to try to get folds from his ace high hands? Okay. We'll go for three bet with king queen. Immediately get four bet, but and again, this is by the bloke who's playing 69% of hands. Don't know if king queen is the type of hand you want to call in these spots. It's basically a full pot size four bet. Excuse me. So easily dominated. I still think that we remain a little bit more disciplined there against a four bet. Even if someone's playing loose, their four bets are often not that loose. Get a very small three bet here on the right. We've got pocket eights, so we will call. And we will miss. Half pot on this board. Probably again a fold. We do have the eight for the eight spades, but it's against a guy three betting from the small blind, even if it is a small three bet, it's got to hit him pretty hard. Okay. I'm getting a three bet a little bit more today, but it's this guy's got quite a high three bet percentage stat. I'm tempted. I'm tempted. I'm not going to do it. I'm trying to be not do it too often with stuff like this, because it was a tendency of mine at some points to get all carried away with that. Um, I was playing 30% of hands. I wonder if calling here is okay. We keep in some of his dominated the hands that we dominate, or maybe we should be three betting. I'm not sure. But three calling from the small blind is usually not a play that people like to do. Maybe because it's crap. And I don't think we want to bluff. I think ace 10 is just going to be have enough showdown value on its own. It's kind of large. I suppose we'd probably just throw it away. As you can see, I'm rusty. My game needs plenty of work. And we get three bet again. But again, by a guy whose three bet percentage is low. So it's been an unusual session. I would say most of the time on GG, I've noticed that you get relatively little three betting, but that's certainly not been the case today. A lot of it. And maybe I need to adapt a little bit. I'm probably folding a little bit too much. We'll go with three bet with the eights. Get called. We get a dismal flop. I guess we'll just go like this. We'll just go really small. That's, when you do that, though, the chances are he folded a hand that we could beat. Probably just had a small pocket pair or a suited ace. But I think I'd rather do that than just check and then not know what to do when I get that into on the turn. Yeah, I think we'll lead this turn. We may have to bet twice, but I do think we want to bet when he checks back the flop. He's going to have plenty of hands that just can't continue. Rag aces can't continue. Even stuff like king queen, maybe king jack could continue. I do think we're going to have to bluff here. Then we get here with this. The queen isn't a great card because queen nine, queen jack, they all get there. But I wonder if there's enough spade miss. Yeah, not having spade, I think that's a good thing. So we'll bet this and just hope that we can. That he's got a hand like ace high and he's missed. Okay, nice. But they had enough like ace five, ace six, maybe an ace nine, king jack, that sort of stuff. I don't think we can check king nine there. I don't think we want to give it up. I'm racking up the sweet wrappers. I don't know what I'm getting for them, but I've got plenty. I've got nine now. And, go for a check. I think for this we'll call. He's just going to be, he could be stabbing here extremely wide, so I don't think we want to fold just yet. Now, though, I think we're going to have to fold. Not been a great session so far in terms of hitting hands. Played for half an hour. I don't think we've really made anything. But we've got a splash spot here. We're in the big blind with AC Doocy. You've got to believe here that we've got a lot more 5x than he does from raising under the gun. He's going to have loads of hands that can't continue. And we see a free one here with the ace deuce. Unfortunately, we don't get anything other than, I guess, backdoor diamonds. But imagine somebody's gonna bet the flop. Wonder if we want to squeeze here with this king queen. Not a play that I do too much. Usually in this spot, I would just call. Maybe this could be a squeezing spot though. And flop trips. We'll check again. Anybody wants to have a bet? Like nobody's interested. When you're playing five ways, it's likely that people are going to be pretty honest. I think the three is not a card I expect to see anybody just suddenly bet on, so we're just going to bet very small. I think that was the first real hand that we flopped, and was a bit of a damn squib. Alrighty, he leads into us now. Do we want to raise, just get this in, or would we rather call and just try and make our hand? No idea on this particular player. We make our hand on the turn. So after all my whining about not making any hands, we do make one. Now I'm wishing I'd raise the flop. We want to go large, try and pile as much money as possible. So go basically pot. Disappointing, not what we wanted. And we get three bet here. We are a bit deeper. So we'll go for a four bet. Good chance this will get fold, but don't think we've actually four bet yet. Yeah, yeah. So of course the downside. If we were 100 big blinds deep there, I would certainly consider calling. When we're a bit deeper, I think I might just want to pile more chips in. Another one of sweets. I'm up to 10 sweets here. We get three bet here by Mr. Oreo. He's playing relatively few hands, over 3,914. So this is a tight three betting range. If it's a tight three betting range, maybe we do want to call. It's also quite a small three bet. So we will peel one. Peel a flop here. Go on, four. Ah. Checks. Of course, the ace, he could have a set of aces, can have ace king, but he could also have like kings, queens, and jacks that really hate this. So we will check. Now, the question here is, do I want to start betting and trying to get him off stuff like kings and queens? I think people can tend to get kind of sticky. We'll check our trips here, and I suspect this is going to be kings and queens, but who knows? Maybe occasionally it's king queen. Okay. Whether or not that would have worked, just trying to pile on the turn and the river, I don't know. Maybe that was a play that I've missed out on there. When he checks the turn, maybe I really do need to start piling chips in. Whether this is a raise or not, we're very deep. I don't know if I'd want to check raise and then have him raise back. That would be a disaster. I think we'll call and we'll just check and we'll check. But we don't have a kicker anymore. We've got queen jack, so we missed out there. Maybe that should have been a raise. Maybe I'm missing out on some value in certain spots. But I check this ace jack after raising with two callers. We get a bet and a call. Don't think I want to raise here. I just want to just call. I don't know if there's any value in betting on that card. I don't know how many fives there are going to be out there. I think we just want to check and just try to show it down. Bets 10. After checking the turn, he bets here. I don't know. People just don't ever seem to show up with worse than ace jack in this spot. What could he have that I beat? Is he going to do this with like ace 10? He's only got an 18% VPIP, so he's pretty tight. We could even consider raising, couldn't we? But I don't know how credible that would be. Just feels like it's going to be like ace deuce. I often find I've taught myself into calling. I don't know if he bets half pot into two people with a worse hand. That might just have to be a call. If we're heads up, it's a definite call. When you've got two people in the pot, I just don't know how often you're going to see someone turn up with a hand worse than ace jack. But perhaps I'm giving people too much credit, and I need to start calling a little bit more. But that hasn't been my experience in the past, so maybe I'm over adjusting. Get check raised here. No, only got 15 hands on the guy or so, so nothing much. We'd like the queen of hearts, please. And that's the five of hearts. That's large. Again, this is already getting uncomfortable. Really don't think that we can fold yet. But I think if he goes blast, 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 we'll have to. We're cool. And we're going to queen of clubs. Three. Takes out some value. Pocket three is now only one combo. No real chance of having 8-4, is there? I'd rather seen a bet that we could call. I don't know whether do we bet? Surely we bet here. Or are people just trapping a lot of the time? Where I'm getting myself in a muddle is in these spots, whether or not this is a bet. I'm kind of confused as to what this guy is doing. Got a call for the pricing, although we should be against the jack. Yeah. I got myself a bit lost here. I'm going to check. No, he's just got absolute bullshit. So the thing about betting, it should be a bet. It should be a bet. When people check raise and then blast the turn and then check the river, I think that generally they're either A, just full of shit, as he was there, or B, they're going for some form of trap. Because I don't think he does that with a hand like an eight. At least I am not sure. I need to play more of these stakes, I think, on here just to get a sense of what people are doing. Because checking queens there has to be a shit play. But it doesn't feel like it will get called very often because they're either have a huge hand or they have complete bollocks. And of course, this time he had the bolt. So I've got to start playing more and getting a little bit more comfortable in just all spots just to work out what I'm doing. So we'll play for a few more minutes. I'll call it a video in a few minutes. Right, what I'll do is I'll cut the video off here and maybe I'll have a two-part video. We'll just play these kings and ace king and then cut this now and then start another video. In fact, we can probably make this three bet smaller because this guy's not got much of a stack. And yeah, easy call, and he's got ace queen. And we're going to raise it up here with the ace king. He only wants to run it once, okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Uh, and we get immediately, this guy's got very high VPIP. It's a huge four bet. I think in these positions we've got little choice, but just got to bang this in. Never comfortable doing this, but I do think it's the right play. Okay. Right, we'll just play this ace king and then we'll call it a video. So I might play for a bit longer and make it into another video, but so we'll call that a video now. If anyone's still watching, which is 40 minutes in, so you're a trooper if you are, I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll be playing more of these types of videos to come. I'm hoping that I can do a tournament video at some point and maybe a stream, as I've said. I'll get to them. But for now, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.